ladies. How you going? Good to see you on a Sunday night. Wow. Well, it's Monday here, but same. So who's here? Who have we got? Ernie Birdie, Miss Jess, Debbie Blair, Jen X, Sherry Berry, me saying, hey, give me a few. Stephanie, yes, Darlene, Sharon, cool, Pat Sanford, the whole gang's here, amazing. I get who's not here is Dozy, so it could be a solo stream. No, I'm sure she's on her way. So let's talk Sunday night, huh? What are we talking about? Hang on, I've got my lighting isn't quite right. It's doing my head in. It's not the same brightness. This side is brighter. Push it back. There, better. So let me just check my messages here. Oh, Stephanie's counting. How's your counting going, Steph? Fucking counting on Discord, huh? Hey, Adam. Adam's here. You. Thank you, Adam, for seeing if you could get in contact with Daisy. So tonight, whether it's just me or whether we are blessed with Daisy Live Love Hoogan, we're talking about. Oh, thanks, Steph. Yes, everyone loves counting, except for Tiff Knox, who can't stand the notifications. Thanks. I've had 3.5 hours sleep because I worked for 10 hours overnight. So, Poppy's here. Hi, Poppy. Have you got the crocodile? Cool. You got the crocodile? She says, yeah, I got the crocodile and the love. And the love. Counting is my new hobby, says Steph. Yeah. Okay, so tonight is Let's Talk Sex Work, but can I just put one thing to rest before we go any further? Not going to be talking about sex. We're talking about either me or me and Daisy and I. We'll be talking about the pitfalls, the intricacies, the stigma, the social taboo of it all, of sex work. So this is not titillating. This is not gratuitous. This is not saucy. This is to be like a proper serious conversation, debunking, demystifying, and destigmatizing. So let me just put a blanket off the bat cautionary warning. I feel like, with all due respect, probably mostly I'm talking to the guys here. I am not interested in any sleazy creeper shit. It's not going to degenerate into being disrespectful, being like, we're not doing sex talk, okay? That's not the point of this. So if you're here and you're thinking that, hey, going to get the inside scoop, this isn't it. I mean, you will, but not on the. I mean, we all know how to fucking have sex, right? Some of us have just gotten paid for it in the past, right? And very well. But I do have members only streams. There is actually one that isn't even a members only stream, which is a little bit saucy, if that's what you want. And in future, it was just because I couldn't schedule it as a members only stream. But in future, anything like that is going to be behind a paywall, because if you need, oh my God. Anyway, in general, I presume it's going to be guys. If you need something for your wank bank, this stream isn't it. And if you really want to, and you want to come along to the more like shop talk, it's going to be behind a paywall. So, I mean, if you want to pay a few dollars to, $8 a month to potentially hear some raunchy shit, that's where you'll find it. Yes, Gen X, these mods will smash the pervs quickly, I have no doubt. And let's be clear, like, I'm a bit pervy. Adam loves it. Like, I have got a lot of innuendo in how I interact with people. It's just part of me, and nothing to do really with being a former sex worker. Wank bank Ernie. I'm just kind of a playful person, but so I'm not saying we can't have fun in chat, but this is not going to degenerate into lewd and lascivious conversation if I can help it. I mean, if it sort of goes there, but anyway, I know in particular Adam. Oh, hi Amber. Adam, who is my partner, my boyfriend, my man, and who doesn't love the seedy shit that comes into regular chats, he'll be booting you straight away. He just will. He fucking hates it. So I'm just checking my messages. Adam, no, we need to change it to members only. This isn't important. This doesn't need to be. This is. We need to talk about the. Oh, so Adam just messaged me and said we can change it to members only. No. This is the sort of stuff that needs to be spoken about. That's the whole. Did you hear my song? Debunk, demystify, destigmatize. That's exactly what my channel is all about. So, hi Poppy. Hello. These conversations are not to be held behind a paywall. I do think that Poppy, come on now. I'm trying to be so serious and like a full proper YouTuber, like a proper, and she's like, no, just pat me. Yeah. So these conversations are ones that need to be had for everybody. I'm just giving y'all a little caution. Okay. Okay. So Daisy doesn't seem to be here. She might come in. Or she might not. That's okay. I can talk. You all know I can talk. I just had a brain fart. Probably the puppy is right. Oh, Nathan, hey, good to see you. Yeah, so let's just start with the basic facts. From about 2014 until sorry about the I just am gathering myself, changing tack midstream to make this a soliloquy and potentially a 2 or 3 hour monologue but yeah. So let me give you the background. When before I was a sex worker, so I was a high-end escort sex worker, prostitute, hooker, whatever. Never like a streetwalker, but also let me preface that. Oh, good. Oof. We won't tell him. There's always replay. There's so much going on on YouTube these days that obviously it's almost impossible to catch all the lives that you want to, because we all run streams simultaneously. So that's all good. I mean, you can catch this on replay, but I think the chat might be an interesting discussion also. Thanks, Sherry Berry. My ink. Serious face, y'all. Okay, so in Australia, sex work, prostitution is legal. Okay, so let me just go straight there. So it's not, I think I understand it correctly that in the US, it's not legal anywhere, or not legal in many places. Chat, let's make this interactive, because I can and we should, and y'all can help me carry this stream solo. Hey, Ruby, good to see you. Oh, no, Jess, you're good. That I literally, on Twitter, when I tweeted this out, that it was upcoming, I had one of my sticker helpers and good friends, Chris Patchy, I call him. He said, "Oh, saucy," and I get that. This topic makes people feel uncomfortable, and quite often we deal with things that make us uncomfortable with humor. I do all the time. Crack jokes when you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, and that's a healthy way to deal with it. But so Jess, no. Like I don't want. I'm not going to be. I just don't want seedy guys coming in here and being foul. Basically, yeah. And I'm not going to give you all the frontline stories. Not tonight. Another time, because they're funny, but not tonight. Yes, Stephanie, humor is my coping mechanism. You're going to have to bear with me on the 3 hours sleep, y'all, too. And I streamed for, I was awake for 24 hours almost, streamed for 13 and a half hours in the space of 24 hours. And here we are again. Dixie enormous, seedy guys. You don't even think about a John Como. Oh, come on. Just put your zipper on and listen. Good evening from Canton. Good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so where were we going? So be respectful of each other. Let's not be casting any we're not casting any shade. This is where we are opening our minds to things that we don't know about. Like, I don't expect really any of you. I know one or two people in chat who have lived experience in this, and I mean, dare I say, the person in particular to whom I am speaking, I think you know that I know who I'm talking to. If you want, I can get Adam to send you a link and you could hop on. You don't have to be on camera, so we could have a discussion, but don't have to, no pressure. You could just have an avatar, or you could come on camera. Anyway, I can do this. Okay, so before I was a sex worker, I thank you, Jess. Yes, no worries. That's what I'm here for. It's what I do. This was from 2014 until 2019, but when Backpage and did you have Cracker in the US? But when Backpage was taken down internationally, my entire livelihood gone. It was devastating. I understand the reason why Backpage was taken down, because it was a hotbed for human trafficking, sex trafficking, preying on people. But it was also a really useful tool, and it was my platform on which I got my business. So that was in about April of 2018. I still kind of did some dribs and drabs of private escorting, private sex work, between when Backpage went down and yeah. Wait, okay, so here's what's interesting. Yes, Lorna and Amber, thank you. It's like saying, oh my God, CSAM instead of child PORN. Gonna try hard not to get demonetized tonight, but whatever. It's who cares? Like a couple of cents. Sex worker is generally the most accepted and respectful term. Having said that, Daisy, who was coming on tonight, does not like that term. She finds it highly offensive and feels like it frames the lived experience of that person's profession as being their entire identity. I was wanting to really talk to her about that because I don't have that same view. I feel like the word prostitute, which is pretty old school, it's like the child PORN, is kind of dated, and that's got a lot more stigma attached to it, right? Whereas sex worker is talking about the work. It's sex and it's work, and it fucking is work. It is work. Hard, admirable, exhausting, sometimes exhilarating, often dangerous on many levels: personal safety, sexual health safety, mental health, all the things. So sex work is good. I use them all interchangeably. I don't even mind being called a hoe. Well, I'm not anymore, but like a hoe, like a whore, like whatever. But for ease of just a blanket term, sex work is probably the most or the least offensive to most people, particularly former sex workers or practicing current sex workers. So yeah. So before the law reads that way, yes. Well, the law is. I mean, have we not realized in Massachusetts, for example, that perhaps there are things about the law that are dated, and could use revamping, and change comes from the ground up, from boots on the ground. So the more we go spreading the word, the more likely it is to affect change. Same with doing standouts. Same with protesting things that need to be changed because they're outdated. So this is our voice. We're going to use it, and let's start to open the conversation. Doing sex work. Here we go, Nathan. Doing sex work versus being a sex worker. Maybe the same application to a neurodivergent identification. Would be interesting to hear Daisy on her reasoning for that feeling preference, for feeling that preference. I don't want to speak for Daisy. I kind of know why she has that preference, and that was why it was going to be a pretty interesting conversation. But you know me, I can talk underwater, so let's do it. So winding it back, I'm going to try not to look at the chat for a second. Before doing that in 2014, I did do I was in the the traditional workforce, legit, you know. Hey LB, hey Laurie, hey girls, hey people, hey ladies, hey gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. Tiff Knox. Yes. Okay, so I came from a very well-to-do, upper middle class, highly academic family, only child, adopted, grew up with everything I would need, except maybe proper love and attention, but that's neither here nor there, right? and I was working. I was going to. I've got university degrees. I have a 1 year of graphic design, Bachelor of Arts of Graphic Design, and then 3 years finished my Bachelor of Arts Communication Studies, majoring in sound and radio production and presentation. So, you know, not unfortunately, as luck would have it, happenstance, unplanned but not unwelcome. My now late husband, he wasn't my husband then, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. I fell pregnant in the final year of my undergraduate degree, and was working at McDonald's as a manager or a crew chief. Anyway, Macca's, and we call it Macca's, Mickey D's, whatever. And so instead of being able to pursue my career, by the time I had my graduation ceremony in May the following year, I had a 3 or 4 month old baby. So I had to put my qualifications aside and just work. We bought a house. We had to pay a mortgage. So I never got to use my degrees, but I was a successful person in the regular workforce, the traditional workforce. Worked as a McDonald's manager, then left that job to go and be an events manager for a startup company that didn't work. So it was under 18s discos and dances and things. That fell through. So I went back to McDonald's for a little bit. And then I worked just in retail in a surf shop, which is very Australia, which was in Newcastle, not in Melbourne, which is just about 2 hours north of Sydney on the east coast of Australia. So sadly, my husband passed away suddenly from a ruptured cerebral aneurysm when we were both 27, and that threw things into a spiral for me. But I had about 6 months of not. We had one child. She was just about to turn 5, Sammy. And I took some time from working at all. I needed some time grieving. And then I went back to being a copywriter and marketing and media person for an international essential oils and Ayurveda company that supplied all the spa products for Raffles and Rita, W Hotels. I wrote all the copy for that when I was like 27. It was a rough road being with my grief and being a single parent with sort of pretty toxic, very toxic parents, and dealing with everything. So but then I got back on my feet mentally, started going to the gym, doing group fitness and lifting weights, and decided to do my personal training course qualifications, and became a group fitness instructor and personal trainer by 2008, I guess. Started competing as a competitive bodybuilder in the figure class, which is oh my God, call back. Erin, is it Stern? If you're a bodybuilder person, like my brain, Andrea Brazier, no, she's bikini. Anyway, it's like proper muscles, like full rip, 6-pack, full pose, and did that very successfully. Competed in Natural Olympia in San Francisco in 2009. And hey, Michelle, good to see you. And it's a very expensive sport. Yeah, my daughter was it was a pre-adolescent. I left doing no, I was still doing personal training and group fitness, but I also then got a management traineeship with it's called Hunter New England Health. So basically, I was doing a master of health science, health service management, and getting high distinctions. Simultaneously, I was also doing a master of business and also getting high distinctions, which is like top marks. I don't know if you guys have high distinctions in the States. I was also working full time, training to compete, working also as a McDonald's manager 2 nights a week on overnights, a functions bar wench, like pulling beers and pouring drinks for people on Friday and Saturday nights as well, and working full time and building a brand. I had a Lisa Allen, that's my real name, a brand for, I had stickers. Like I've always been a marketing person, right? So well, this is all to say, to lead up to, I kind of pushed myself too much, I thought, in love with a horrible person who ended up being the father of my son. I moved myself and my daughter from Newcastle to Adelaide, which is 40 hours drive in a car, and down the bottom of Australia. And it was called Cyclone Babes, actually. If anyone has me on Snapchat, and I don't think any of you do, but my Snapchat handle is Cyclone Babes. Ugh, cringe. Long story. Anyway, yeah, I used to have a group of around the country in Australia, people who did meal plans and training plans from me, and I never charged enough, but yeah. So that's me. I've always done legit stuff, yeah. So I was in Adelaide, and I was the relationship dissolved with my son's father. Yeah, Tiff, who hasn't fallen in love with a horrible person? Me, twice. Never again. Thank God for Adam, huh? He saved me. So I was trying to be a single mother of a teenager, 13, 14, 15-year-old. Both of us were competing. My daughter started to compete in the bikini division. I had a very young son too. And I was started to do promo work, like bar wench work, just in like, something like what I'm wearing now, yeah, and going and socializing with the creepers on Friday afternoons after my legit job, because I was a store manager of an international, but it started in Australia, women's activewear brand. Some of you might have heard of it, called Lorna Jane. I opened the most successful, best ever opening day Lorna Jane store in Adelaide, and ran a couple of those stores, but financially it wasn't quite enough. So I started doing this promo work, yeah. And then one day when I was at work, my regular job, someone left a flyer under my windscreen, like a pamphlet, and it was a thing for a massage parlor, a rub and tug. And I jokingly, I think, no doubt, knowing me, I posted something on my social media and said, should I try this? Kind of half joking, because whatever. And a friend of mine who didn't live in Adelaide, but who had, messaged me and said, I don't know if you were joking or not. Hey, Megan, good to see you. But I know somebody who runs a rub and tug, a massage parlor in Adelaide. If you'd like to try it. I'm like, I mean, is it good money? Because let's be honest. Okay, so I'm going to have to go into a little bit of lewd and lascivious, but don't derail me. I'm not going to derail it, all right? But so basically, I'd never given a massage to anyone. Certainly never given a wristy. But I'm like, how hard can it be? So I went and did it. I went and had a go, and had a go. I went all right at it. So I started I guess that was the pathway for me from transitioning or having a double life, yeah. So I was working my regular day job, well known around Australia. I was a very prolific competitor in bodybuilding. Everybody knew me. I competed in more competitions than anybody else. I used to do 5 or 6 a season. My daughter was also competing. We're a mother-daughter duo, the only one. Thanks, thanks, John. We were the only mother-daughter duo. She was 16, 17, and I was however old. I'm almost 50 now. 50? fisty, wristy. Fisty has connotations to me, Steph, that we're not going to go into because anyway. So I was doing that and it was kind of disgusting. Like it made me feel I felt shame. And also I felt like I was compromising myself, a piece of myself. Yeah, I used to get these, and if I bet you Darlene knows this, and other people also, if Darlene's still in the chat, but I used to get these aching pains. So there was no. It was technically. I mean, all the guys tried, but it was just. I have to go. So, it was a nude massage. Sorry, and then a happy ending. Yeah. So they weren't supposed to touch us because, and facts. That's extra. Yeah. And but I used to get these pains in my I don't even know the shape, like in the basically where my ovaries are, and it was deep in me, and it was affecting my energy. Yeah, it was affecting my energy having these creatures, and they were revolting for the most part. And no shade on. I mean, a little bit of shade, but you have to take my stance on men in general. Sorry, guys, but it kind of fucks this industry. Kind of fucks you forever in terms of how you feel about men. Generalizing, not every man, but it's. But again, I very much value the service that sex work provides to society, to relationships, and we'll get into that. But there is so here's okay, sidebar. Here's my thing about in the just say you've got a circle that represents all women and a circle that represents all men in the world. In that pie of women, there are most of the circle with a very tiny sliver. Most of the circle of that pie chart will never, ever, ever, ever even consider doing any sort of sex work. No escorting, no stripping, no lap dances, nothing, no OnlyFans, none of that, right? It will never. And then in my opinion, this is just me, what I've kind of come to decide. Then there's that tiny little sliver that it was always going to happen, and it's nothing. I kind of when I finally eventually made the final plunge. Eesh. Hey, Queen Bee, good to see you. Thank you for becoming a member. For me, it was a fait accompli. It was inevitable. And this may well be cliched, but I have to say that. Take me back to Pretty Woman. When I saw Pretty Woman, that just all made sense to me. It wasn't I wasn't romanticizing it. It was just like a done deal. And when I finally became a sex worker in the sex work industry, I was like, well, this makes sense. And I was never a particularly promiscuous person. I'm not that highly like sex is, I take it or leave it, to be honest, before and after. This doesn't really cross my mind that often. So Adam, member for 1 month, happiest place on earth. With or without the happy endings, right? Same goes with the men in that pie chart, right? It's probably a bigger sliver, to be honest. Sorry, guys. Maybe I'm generalizing, so again, a big portion of that pie where males who will never, ever, ever frequent any kind of anything. Then there's like I say, probably a slightly bigger portion of guys who will. But I think some of that portion is the wingmen, the guys who go along because they're kind of getting, then they're the tagger honors, or they're kind of reluctant and kind of going with the flow. Yeah. Yay, all these members for 1 month. I agree with Adam, but for different reasons. No. Yeah, no happy endings for us, Laurie. Yay. So, and again, no shade, but there's a certain, like, and then when those, and quite often, I have to tread really careful. I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm including myself in this year. I think the people who are drawn to that world generally have some level of, how do I word this? Dysfunction, trauma, a little bit of darkness. I don't know. Maybe chat. What do you think? One of my sisters was a sex worker, and she felt that it was just easier and safer for guys that shouldn't be stepping out to step out. A sex worker won't say anything. Yeah. Also, they can. The guy can go in, have his meat and potatoes, have the physical thing without basically I think sex work, prostitutes, visiting someone and paying for sex or companionship generally is going to steer that man or woman away from having an actual affair, an emotional affair. And you know, I mean, women can, and men can be, non-sex workers can be kind of people who can sometimes use sex, withholding of sex in a relationship, particularly if the relationship's been going for a while, to, oh, hi Amy, good to see you, going for a while, that maybe they're like, you know, the husband doesn't take the bin out, so she's right. Maybe the woman's going through menopause or whatever, or not, or busy with the kids, tired, whatever it is, and so he might want more sex or some sex, full stop. So him going and paying for something, companionship or physical dalliance. I always say sex work is, and sex workers are, the glue that keep relationships together, because the guy gets his rocks off and goes back home to his missus. And obviously, myself included, I guarantee you, no wife or girlfriend or would ever want to think that her husband's or her partner is doing that. But it's sure better than thinking that he's going and having an affair with the kid's teacher or the babysitter or his colleague at work or co-worker or her best friend, you know? So, Ernie, I would be really hurt if my boyfriend stepped out on me. Absolutely. I don't think I could get past it. Same. And some of that, my disdain for, my brain wants to say men. Sorry, guys. It's pretty deeply ingrained. Like the number of times that I say, fuck, I hate men. I fucking hate men, because the whole men of the manliness of the men, just men being men. And with all due respect, guys, you can't help it. You're born with the DNA. Like it's not a part. It kind of is a pass. You have to. We're different. Women and men are different, and men are going to men. And in terms of evolution, it's in humankind's best interest for men to be driven to pursue and to be thinking with their brains in their trousers, so that humankind continues on. Yeah, it's primal. It's since time began. Men need to sow their seed, and of course women have sex drive and stuff. Hey Pierre, good to see you. Listen and lurk, my friend. Listen and lurk. Well, I don't know, Jess. Oldest profession, but then how do they pay? How do the guys pay for it? If they were going to pay, they have to have a job. It's the chicken or the egg, that one. I've always wondered that. How's the guy going to pay if it's the first profession ever? I think women have always, since time began, known that the power of the pussy has great leverage. And so some women use their wily ways, the pussy power, to get what they want. Hi, Miss Mandy. Thank you for the super chats. Good to see you. Mwah. Miss Mandy has a great channel. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. She's good. She's cool. She's in our Discord. Yay. So we, you know, men are men, and men are going to men, and women are going to women. But back to the married thing and stepping out, like Ernie said before. So my clientele range was basically 5 distinct categories. I'll pop in my members only. I'll pop up. I have 58,000 photos and videos on my camera. Right? There's a lot of screenshots and screenshots of screenshots, memes, neurodivergence in the chat will attest. We screenshot the shit out of everything, right? And just so we don't forget it, and then we never look at them again. But I also have I took a mean selfie. Yeah, I'll post a few photos of my heyday, both when I was a blondie, when I worked at an establishment called Gotham City, which is the best, most opulent brothel in Australia, most expensive. Yeah, Ernie. And just so members only, just in members in the community tab. So if you the paywall, if you want to get your wank bank material. Also, there's plenty out there on just saying if you look hard enough. Instagram might be the place to find. There's nothing OnlyFansy, there's nothing X-rated, but if you want to trawl through all of my last 5 years, you will get to how you like them apples. I looked all right. I still look all right, but you know. Anyway, so wrap it in, back in. Your partner stepping out. I used to, my clientele was drug dealers, bikies, guys who just got out of jail, middle-aged men whose wives didn't look like me, and guys who like fitness chicks, because I had a rig. So that fourth category, middle-aged men whose wives don't look like me. Like I had my 40th birthday when I was in the brothel. Like it's not the kind of thing you expect to be doing when you turn 40, when you're dreaming of your life as an 8-year-old. But here we are. Yeah, Ernie, Gotham City. It's actually a very dark and evil place, but on the surface, on its face, it's pretty cool, pretty opulent. Scratch away the shiny exterior, and it's a bad place. Literal evil. Prob's not their top choice for work. I don't know the rest. Sex workers aren't taking anything that doesn't belong to them. It's probably not their top choice for work. Well, yes. Interesting. Agreed. Anybody who's okay, this is me speaking as me, so I cannot speak for everybody. And I'm sure there are a portion of people, women, sex workers, who say, I'm doing this because I love it. It makes me feel empowered. I get paid great money and I have no problem with it or with myself. This is what I want to be doing, yeah? I'm not so sure. It would have to be a very uninsightful, very lacking in awareness to what society feels and thinks and says and misinterprets sex work and sex workers to be for that person to take a step into sex work purely because they think it looks fun and the money must be good. It's a choice one should make very carefully. And it, like, my parents disowned me over this. My son's father, he's a delightful chap, told them that's what I did for work. And they assumed, and this is the core, the essence of why I'm doing my whole channel, this subject, this fact, right? So I would think if your only daughter, who's had a lot of trauma, a lot of grief, a lot of battling through her life with mental health issues, financially, interpersonal relationships, because I'm autistic and sometimes I've fucked up in the past with being very Lisa and that being alienating to people, right? But if your parents are both millionaires, it's me, they're my parents, and your only daughter has to turn to sex work to keep a roof over her children's heads and food on the table and a lifestyle, a way of life for herself and her children, and your choice is to go, nope, and abandon that person and my entire family, my entire extended family, my entire in-law extended family, all my friends. It took me a long time to get back into, yes, Sharon, rig equals body. Thank you. Everybody, once that got out, My son's father, I don't like to say his name, but it's Aaron. I'll say it once. My son's father did his best to capitalize on the stigma and the misunderstanding and the misinformation surrounding sex work and the people who end up doing it. This is why this whole channel, it makes me mad, man. How dare you? Not how dare you? Sorry, chat. I love you, chat. No, chat is bait. I'm passionate about this, right? What kind of people? I thought to myself, who thinks that all that woman, me, a very capable, very successful, very intelligent, very accomplished, driven, hardworking, well-spoken, that she's going to do sex work because she wants to be a party girl and just fuck around? I'm sorry. Okay. So that's not what anybody is going to. Well, not everybody. Most people do it because it's the fucking last resort. Yeah, it's the bottom of the barrel. You have reached the end. So I didn't tell you my actual segue into the final descent into like it just like sex work destroyed everything for me. My entire life, I lost everything, everything, and it opened the door for me to my children. It opened the door for me to be taken advantage of, preyed upon by abusers, by con men, becoming a meth addict, homeless. I lost my children, not legally, but I don't have my children in my life. Haven't seen either of them for 6 years. My entire everything, right? Sex work is the absolute last resort. The reason I ended up going from the massage parlor in Adelaide and promo work was because I quit my job at Lorna Jane, which flicks back to being a neurodivergent and being slightly impulse control prone, lacking in impulse control, and being quite reactionary to situations and going into shutdown mode. Yeah. So I quit my job at Lorna Jane. I was starting to get a little bit disgruntled, but I quit it without anything to go to. And I had rent to pay. I had food bills to pay. I was competing as bodybuilder. So I got myself a fucking terrible job being a membership consultant at Good Life Health Clubs, which is like Fitness First. Yeah. But it was all commission based. The base income was nowhere near. And I'm not sales. I'm customer service, baby. It pays to be customer service in sex work, by the way. But once I was in that job as a membership consultant, I hated it. It just was nothing about me. And financially, I couldn't. I was like, I knew I wasn't making my KPIs for that job. I knew I was about to get probably fired for that. So what do? I was doing massage, making pretty good coin, like a couple of $100, kind of hating it, pretty foul. But I looked pretty good. And a couple of the girls that I worked at the massage parlor in Adelaide with said, hey, you should try Gotham City. You would do really well there. And I was like, sure. I guess I was a bit nonchalant about it, but I was already in the industry, yeah. So it wasn't that big of a reach for me. Now I'm risking putting, just sidebar, I'm risking putting a little bit of pawpaw on my lips. I might end up looking like a freaking weirdo, pawpaw cream, with weird outlined lips and nothing in the middle, but I'm cake mouthing hard because I'm talking nonstop. So there you go. Ooh, pig. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Fuck it, I got to pay the bills. And I was successful. By the time I'd finished, when I left there, like I was a shell of my former self and I'd lost everything, or I hadn't quite lost everything. But I made $250,000 in my last year at Gotham City. $249,000 in 12 months. And I was only working every second week. So, yeah. So, thanks, Nicole. I love hearing you talking about your experiences. Yeah. Thanks, Gen X. Won't look so pretty soon, but I don't think cake mouth and clagging up is going to be helpful either. Yeah, wow, Mandy, right? Okay. So back to it's work, and it's probably not your first choice. I always likened it to, I guarantee you that anybody who ends up doing sex work, if they have any life experience at all, most likely have come to the end of the road. And the problem with that is, and I disagree with it now, but it did take me a long time to get to this point in terms of work. At the time, I'm like, if I can't do this, I'm at the bottom. Like, if I can't do this, or when this comes to an end, what am I going to do then? Yeah. Because, well, how do you come back from being a sex worker? Society, but wise, yeah. Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. So the stigma, which is what we're doing here, getting rid of some of that, because you all know me, like you all know me now. Most of you know me pretty well, yeah. Some of you know me very well. I'm what I don't know. What do you think of what does a sex worker maybe not look like, but people I don't know what people think. Like, I'm very intelligent. Like, I'm pretty smart. I have university degrees. I have many accomplishments in my life and a lot of failures, but that's all right, don't we all? Um, uh, but the people who end up there, unless, like I said before, bringing it back around, unless you are oblivious to what society says or you don't care, it's a very it's a decision one should make with much consideration and understanding. When I worked at Gotham, I was older by a lot of the girls by a lot, 15, 20 years, and still top dog. Yo, thank you for coming. I had people fly from the States to book me, right? Like, seriously. Anyway, but the girls would come in and there'd be these young girls, 18, coming in and they'd come in and the madam, the host would say, would have me be like, I consider myself, I was the hall mentor. Not everybody liked me, but everybody respected me because I was the one who would always say, "Oh, I don't really like that outfit," and I was never trying to do anybody dirty. Or I'd say, do this, and I'd give them advice. I was the hall mentor, and I was quite mothering and nurturing, which is me in general. Thank you, Laurie. I mean, I think I go all right. You can be smart or book smart. Rice and right. You can be both. I'm both. And inspiring. Oh, thanks. So anyway, these young girls would come in and they'd be like, "Oh my God, what's it like working here?" I'd be like, and I'd say to every single person, not just the young ones, everyone on their very first night, they would, I'd have to do it on the down low, and I'd say, "Have you done this before?" And they'd say no, and I'd be like, "Honestly, right now, I would consider think about this. The moment you have your first booking, and even if it's only one, and even if you never do this again, for the rest of your life, even when you're a grandmother, I'm a grandmother now, lol, haven't ever met my granddaughter, but I am, forever and ever and ever, you will always at one point in your life for that moment there have been a prostitute. Let's talk about it the way society will think of it. And that's something that you will always be judged for, and it's not cool, it's not okay. But do you want to, even if nobody else ever knows, you in your heart of hearts will know? Yeah. You're welcome, Wendy. Thank you for being here. And I have no shame. Like, clearly I have no shame. I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of how well I did my job. I never, ever, ever had a single complaint. And obviously I made a lot of money from anybody, ever. I didn't have a lot of bookings. I had long bookings. A lot of them were a lot of talking. Can't imagine it, can you? People came for my company. They came for my company. They loved being with me. And I'm very good at masking. And so I am very adaptable, and I could instantly sense and know what every single person who walked in the door wanted from their experience. Yeah. So I never had a complaint whatsoever. And where was I going with that? Can't remember now. Brain. Stunning granny. Yes, thanks. You should see me when I take all my cake makeup off. No, I still look all right, but fuck, I'm tired. So every girl that would walk in, I'd say, like, just remember. So that's where I was going. So I'm proud. I I'm not sure I'd do it again if I could turn back time. It's a moot point. I can't turn back time because because of what I lost. But then what I lost was as a result of there's a direct correlation between, and what I lost, really the most important thing was all the people in my life, like everyone. Oh, sorry. But they all weren't turned their back on me because of society's stigma. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, Taryn. Were you introduced to drugs through the brothel, or did you seek them out as a coping mechanism? All right, so I was always a drug pig. Yeah, I fucking love drugs. Give me whatever. Not heroin. Honestly, there's been times in my life I'm be like, where is some anything to escape? I used to smoke weed in high school, in junior high, however, like 14. Lots of alcohol. Then my late husband was a mad pothead, and then we used to get speed. We used to get on trips, LSD. And then obviously, when I still smoked a bit of weed after Robert died, but then I couldn't afford it because I was so chronic. A bit of weed, like I was chronic, self-medicating. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's do it. I love drugs. Let's self-medicate. I don't like feeling intoxicated now. I don't like, so but I like a little bit of taking the edge off, right? So when I first started at the brothel, the establishment, I was down for like, I remember the first time they said, I didn't know. I was so like, I was so out of the loop. I was a bodybuilder. I was like a single parent. I was just there to do my money, make my money, and get home. And I remember the first time the host, Nikki, horrible woman. I mean, she was all right. No, anybody who runs a brothel is not a good person. I'm sorry. They're selling humans as chattel, right? Selling souls for men. Sorry, men. So she said to me, do you do party bookings? I'm like, what are party bookings? I'm like, sure, it sounds fun. What's that? And she goes, and like, I think I thought it was like going to a party, which actually wouldn't have been fun, but I'll say whatever I need to say. And she's like, yeah, like drug bookings. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. And I'd never had coke before. I never snorted anything before. I'd never had meth before. I didn't really even know what meth was. I don't know. I don't know. Never had really anything much. And so I started, like, there was a lot of coke guys. So I just did party bookings. I remember the very first time I was I'm still friends with this guy to this day, like Facebook friends, not actual friends. One of the few people from that former life that are still around, because I did a massive purge about a year ago. I was like, nah, all you disgusting creatures, stop coming back and saying, hey, Sky, are you still taking bookings? Yeah, nah, mate, I'm actually not. Show some fucking respect. Like, my Snapchat name is now, it's actually Lisa. The number of people that would come in and say, hey, Sky, I'm like, I'm fucking Lisa, because my working name was Sky, and my Snapchat name used to be Princess Sky. So anyway, I remember this guy, he was so off his head, and he flicked this pipe at me, this meth pipe, and I was like, ooh, he said, keep that. And I didn't know, it was my very first week and my second weekend there. So yeah, it happened pretty quickly. And I didn't know what it was. And the chick that I was there with, she's like, oh my God, that's ice. They call it ice in Australia. No, I don't, it's meth. And so we smoked it. And like, basically, I didn't get straight into it. Like, I would do bookings if there was guys with any drugs, sure, whatever. Not heroin again, not injecting, just like smoking and snorting and shit. And then, so my look and that clientele, bikies, drug dealers, middle-aged men whose wives don't look like me, guys that's just got out of jail, and fitness guys that like fitness chicks. Most of them, except for the middle-aged men, they weren't there until after midnight. And I was like, I was too old for that shit. I was falling asleep. And I knew that being on the meth in particular, like, would keep me awake. So I made a business decision, like a calculated business decision, to start having meth when I was at work. I didn't have any when I was back in Adelaide. I flew in and flew out from Adelaide to Melbourne, worked at Gotham City in Melbourne, and then flew home. When I was at home in Adelaide, I was a legit person. I was still working. I worked in the rub and tug for a little while. And then after a while, I was making so much money in the brothel that I didn't work at all. So it was very distinct. Adelaide was my one life. Melbourne was my other life. And my average nightly income, because I used to keep records, went up about $150 a night straight away. When I added other drugs in, like GHB, push, because my boundaries were way off in the distance at that point. Yeah, and so my customer service list was rather expansive. So I didn't seek them out as a coping mechanism, Taryn. My choice to start using meth when I was at work, and I stayed at the brothel, downstairs in the dungeon. I stayed for the first little while. I used to get a hotel room, and after a while, I just to save money, I just stayed there. So I basically lived in this alternate world. So toxic, so awful place. And just so my income went up. I would do all the drugs, but it was a business decision. What happened though was when I did that for about a time is a flat circle, maybe a year and a half, maybe a bit longer. And it was very distinct. It was tough. It was a roller coaster, getting back to Adelaide and having to go cold turkey once every second week. So hard on everything, on your emotions. It was fucked on your brain. Meth is a really cerebral drug. So I struggled with it, but I did it because I had a rule, everything. I had no contacts in Adelaide, no paraphernalia, no gear, nothing. It was all in Melbourne in my locker. And in Adelaide, I was straight edge. And then my daughter and my relationship dissolved in a big fiery discussion, which I'll talk about another time. And I said some things that I regret. I do regret, hurtful, toxic things. Knowing what I know now about myself being neurodivergent, autistic, I was in a meltdown. But you can't turn back time. And I respect her decision to not have me in her life. But she was my best friend. We spent every minute of every day together. She was my everything. We were like this since her father died. So when that all dissolved, I was just like, I got my boobs done again, just coincidentally. It was the timing. And I went back to Melbourne just for a trip to hang out with, not for work, because I just had my boobs done again. And this whole thing, and I was like, I drove over, and when I drove back to Adelaide, I took all of my stuff back, and I just said, fuck it. Self-medicate the shit out of it, I just couldn't. So Miss Mandy reacts. My son was my best friend as well. We talked every day. Hugs, Miss Mandy. Ernie, I don't think there will be. I expect nothing but never lose hope is my mantra. I respect Sammy's decision. I will never try to explain away or justify or invalidate her lived experience. I also role modeled really well, because in her lifetime, before my parents turned their back on me, I had it for up to years at a time. Kept my parents out of my life because they were so fucking toxic and gave me so much. They affected my well-being and my mental health so heavily that I just had to keep them at arm's length. If me being me, and I'm not perfect, but if me being me and my undiagnosed, unself-identified me, highly stressed, these are all their validation, and I would never do her, but I'm just telling you, all the things, doesn't matter why I was a little bit erratic. I was always a loving mother. She got everything she needed. I worked very hard. I told you before, when I was doing all those 2 uni degrees at once, working full time, working 3 other side hustle jobs, and building a brand. Like I was semi-absent, but I was hustle. It wasn't like I was having boyfriends and shit. So, but if her lived experience, her perception, and that's no shade, like perception is reality, right? If how she perceived how my mothering was, how that made her feel, that it just is. I would, and I just don't think she's a stubborn little thing. Well, she's 26 now, almost 27. But expect nothing, but never lose hope. Yeah, actually can't imagine that she ever will come back to me, and I'm okay. Like I'm not okay with it, but I respect that, and if and when she ever did, I would I would choose my words very carefully, because I would never want her to think that I was trying to explain away her experience and invalidate it in any way, because I'm not here to do that. So anyway, back to sex work. So it so the intermingling, I'm sure the intermingling of drugs, fresh trauma with my daughter's relationship dissolving, my son's father and my relationship never really being a relationship, um, uh, uh, and then that world of in the two pies of the men and the women. There's another pie, and it's the dark underworld of drug people, of kind of the bottom dwellers, all the crumbs in the toaster, yeah, like shit cunts. There goes my monetization. People who have no scruples, no integrity, whose moral compass is shifted for whatever reason, if they ever had a moral compass. Do your parents have a relationship with either of their children? Yes. My parents all went to my daughter's wedding that I didn't even know about. The last time my mother, I didn't speak to my mother. The last time my mother messaged me was on Mother's Day, 2017. And I hadn't seen or spoken to her for quite some time. A year or so, a couple of years, a few years, a couple of years, I don't know, time. And I hadn't seen or spoken to my own children for, at that point, it was only like 5 months. It's been, what, 7 years now, almost 8. And she messaged me. She's such a piece of shit. She's such a narcissistic ice queen. She's awful. She's an awful person. She messaged me on Mother's Day. This is such a dog act. She goes, Lisa, I've just spent the day with Kobe and Sammy. They're such beautiful children. You raised them so well. She was just sticking a knife in you on Mother's Day. Suck it, bitch. You made your choices, to quote my father. Lisa made her own bed. She can lie in it. Yeah, right. My parents are horrible people. And so, but they judged me. They judged me for doing what I did, which, well, okay. Yeah, shame on me for needing to pay the rent and feeling like I had nowhere else to turn. Shame on me for not having a loving, supportive relationship with either of my parents, such that I felt I could say I need some help financially, because they literally did say she made her own bed, she can lie in it. Yeah, Tiff, same girl. So those 3 pie charts, yeah. What's Adam saying to me? Oh, thanks, babe. Those people, they're always going to be a sex worker or in the sex work industry, always going to go and visit or frequent that kind of stuff. And then there's the other folks who kind of, there's the overlap. When those 3 things to come together, danger, abort. That's when bad shit goes down, and bad shit went down. I lived through quite and survived just quite a lot of betrayal, disgusting treatment, disappointment. 2018, the year that broke me. So when no, wait, I don't want to go. I don't want to tell more narrative shit. I want to talk about like what society thinks. So okay, right. So chat. What's the question I'm going to ask? We'll do a poll. No, there's no poll. Who in chat? One in the chat. If you know someone or yourself, you don't have to say which it is. If you know someone who is, thanks, Mandy. I've come a long way, babe. Like, like I wouldn't be who I am now without all this that I'm talking about and more. Like I've done the work. Yeah, I've gone through the darkest of the darkest of the dark, and here we are. Thanks, Darlene. You're good. Listen and look. Okay, so focus. One's in the chat. If you know someone, or you are someone who's worked or still works in any capacity in the sex industry. One's in the chat. One's in the chat. Miss Shorty. This is what I experienced with my mother, with not trusting that I was sober, not trusting that I was healthy mentally. I do feel like we are working through. Good. All right, one's in the chat. Okay, so who knows or has been? I don't want to know specifics unless you feel free to share. So Adam's sister, he said, Laurie, Adam, Stephanie, Nicole. I have known many sex workers. Darlene puts one. Pierre, Nathan, Gen X, Kenzie, Michelle, Ernie, Tiff. Know someone? Sharon, Miss Jess, 20s on. Kim W. Yeah, see. So maybe this is a skewed sample here with you guys. But so you guys are more open to it being okay. Well, it is okay. It is okay. When you're talking about someone like perhaps of our parents' generation, like Pierre, who obviously generally have lived through a much more and grown up through a much more socially rigid set of expectations, and the sexual revolution in the 60s obviously changed a lot of things. But though our parents, for most of us, Pierre, I used to trade drugs for sex. Yeah. You know what? I never did. I was always real, just because I was like, no, I'll pay you for you. You pay me dollars, and then I'll buy your drugs back off you. Guys used to try to pay me in Coke. I'd be like, man, I'm not going to spend money on Coke. Why would you pay me in it? I don't want Coke. Give me what I want. You can give me Coke, but I'm not going to use it as payment, because I would never spend my own money on Coke. But yeah. Well, there you go, Wendy. Now you know someone who's been in who has been involved in and come out the other side of the sex industry, the sex work industry. And obviously these days, Adam, you juggalo, you. Yeah, I mean, sex is quite often a transactional thing. Yeah, I was talking before about pussy power and people using sex to get something. Whether it's a wife saying like she wants certain things done around the house, that's such a stereotype. But you know what I mean? Like it can be a transactional thing. So let me have vape. I need to vape. Talk amongst yourself for a second. I'm getting nicotine like withdrawals. That won't be enough either. Brain. Little Miss, I'm 56. It was my elder daughter who got me on it. She's a prude. I'm not. Got me on it? You know what? I'm actually quite a prude. This is funny. I know I'm a perv and I say pervy things, but maybe. No, wait. I just had a light bulb moment. So when I don't love like romantic kissy scenes in movies. I don't like movies at all, or on screen. Not porn. I mean, like like evocative, emotional stuff. And I always used to think was that I just didn't want to see it. But I think maybe it just dawned on me that I didn't want to see it because it reminded me of the lack of love in my life from my parents, which they was a very cold household. I mean, wait, Michelle, wait. Yes, for sure. Just ask them if they know Sky. There's only one Sky, mate. There's only one Sky. I had blonde hair then, long blonde hair. I'll put photos in members only in members community tab. They're pretty cool. Nothing. I'm classy, yeah. Like I'm a very intelligent, very classy, basic bitch. Yeah, I think maybe I'm not a prude. I mean, my list of services would suggest that I'm not a prude, but I was also that list of services did uh, expand with the beginning of my taking of GHB. All inhibitions gone. Let's fucking go. And I kind of, whatever. Ugh, yeah. Ugh, ugh. Classy as fuck. Yeah, classy with a K. That's me. I'm a prude. Miss Mandy reacts. That's okay. It's okay to be a prude. And it's okay to be very sexually overt. I guess you've got to choose choose your audience. And sometimes I'm a little bit like my no filter thing can make me seem a little inappropriate. Miss Jess, I feel like maybe you can relate to that. um, and also sometimes overt sexuality can be a sign of or a manifestation of trauma. So can be being very very prudish or very reserved sexually, either in conversation. No, Jess, you're not a prude at all. Oh, Kenzie, good night. Catch the rest on replay. Thank you for joining. Mwah, love you. Um, yes, but so no shade on anyone, and our upbringing and our belief system and our lived experiences and our brain makeup, the culture of from whence we came, both like brain fart, like your oh, fuck, like your heritage, your nationality, your cultural heritage can absolutely impact on that. The town you grew up in, the city, the people that you spent your time with, the trauma you've experienced or not experienced. Uh, there's so many reasons and contributing factors to yeah, right on, Ernie. I don't want to see anyone like pashing, but I love kissing. I love doing stuff. But also take it or leave it. I'm whatever. Maybe I'm too old. When I was, but I think anyway. Let me just go through the chat here because because you guys have got some really interesting things. When I'm alone with my friends, my filter comes off. Yes, your mask, Mandy. Yes, yes. When we feel comfortable and safe in a space with people, we are more likely to let our hair down or let that mask slip, feel more comfortable to be ourselves. I like kissing, but I don't want to watch other people kiss. Hard pass. Michelle Smith doesn't watch porn. I go through phases. It's really hard to find. Like I haven't watched porn for the longest time, but then I'll go through. Hey, I'll go through phases. I'm like, it's so hard to find good porn. Yeah, I've got a very specific set of search engine words, and anyway, that's all I'll say about that. You spend more time scrolling looking for something good than actually finding it. So, if I ain't getting it, I don't want to watch someone else getting it. Yeah, fair. And honestly, for me, like if I'm in a relationship, well, I am, but long distance. So obviously, there's no actual physical proximity. But like I really don't even think about anything sex or romantic or like anything. Often, I'm not someone who generally even thinks about like masturbating. And then sometimes I'm so fucking highly strung, and it'll occur to me that maybe I should like let off some pressure, release some tension, and then I'm like, yeah, that probably was it. Yeah, because we that is a good way to release it. Orgasm gives you releases endorphins and dopamine and serotonin. It's good for the soul. So, oh my god, did I just see Turd Ferguson? Turd, turd, turd. Family is over, so I have to rewatch. Yeah, I don't reckon put this one on the big screen and watch with them, turd. But yeah, catch the replay for sure. I can't watch the fake porn, right? Jess, here's what I'm thinking. So I'm not going to give you too much of a clue into what my search terms are, but let's just put it this way. If she looks like she's enjoying it too much, I don't want to see that shit. Fake porn is cringe. Yeah. I'm not a fan of porn, but I love hot and steamy book. Ooh, you like the smut, EDB smut books. Taryn, you watch Emily D. Baker, don't you? I'm pretty sure I've seen your name in there. EDB loves the smut. Adam, you're constantly blushing. Hoss, many of us are getting laid tonight. Yikes. Well, not me. Not unless we do some cyber sex, courtesy of Auntie Deb suggesting that it would be that Adam and I would be, sorry, Adam, would be having cyber sex by 2025. Spoiler alert. It's 2024. Hard relate to that. My man reminds me all the time, I probably just need to get off. Surprise, he's right. Yeah, but we get so highly strung and it just don't like if like Pia, I think you've recently sort of started to have the realization that possibly, probably, definitely you're neurodivergent. I just get so wrapped up in doing other things. It just doesn't occur to me, man. And I do think it's because I solicited. Yes, EDB is amazing. Yuck. Yes, someone hung a big fat shit in my driveway about 5 weeks ago. A junkie. Literally. Me. If I go to the sex shop for a USB Nimbus, yeah, So here's the thing. How do we get here? Suddenly it's turned into steamy. You know why? Well, there's, oh, hi, Alice the Dragon. Alice the Dragon's just walking into like sexy land. Sex brings life energy. It's good for your health. Yeah. I just think like for me, it's not really something that, yes, Mandy, you're not a prude. You said you're a prude. Suddenly she feels comfortable to say the stuff. Yay. Yay. I mean, we can be prudes. We can be not prudes. We can be prudes in some situations about some things and not about others. There's a kink for everyone, right? And it's not even a kink. Yeah. Too stressed and busy. LMAO. Same, girl. Then some. So the thing. Okay. Are all the creeps out of the chat? Yeah, look, the numbers just dropped. Cool. Creeps have left. I'm an all or nothing kind of a girl, right? If I do something, I'm going to do it with gusto. I'm going to go fucking helter skelter. I'm going to hyper focus the shit out of it. Let's just say there's been some times in my life where it was a couple of years ago, not that long ago, where I got so like addicted to spending time with my little friends. And so caught up in the like the wave of the orgasm and like guys, I'm sorry, but I feel for you. We can do things yeah, depending. So I would end up being like, just another one. I would end up like dripping with sweat 2-3 hours in, everything, all the batteries flat on all of them, like all my hands cramped up from holding things, trying to get angles, just so determined. Anyway, I'm proud of myself these days because if ever I do now, I am too fucking busy to spend 3 hours. It makes me feel embarrassed afterwards. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's that society thing, yeah. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. There's a little bit something wrong with going until you're literally in pain with all your body's hurting for days, like because everything's been holding things on certain angles, and you're dripping with sweat, and you've wasted or spent 3 hours chasing the permanent orgasm wave. So now I'm very proud of myself that if I do, I generally will just go in, do, and put the vibrator down and walk away. And I feel really quite good about myself when I do that because I'm not getting so hyper focused on it and then feeling embarrassed. They refer to it as flicking the bean here. Yeah, I actually like, I hate that, but I get it. It's just to me, Yeah, I don't love it. I don't know why. It has to me connotations of kind of like, what are the words I'm looking for? It's to me it sounds like a mocking term. I don't think it generally is. We say rub one out. The non-refractory period is probably a cool gift for females. Is there a name for it, Nathan? Mate, I can, if I get on the right roll. Yeah, Miss Mandy. I love how literally I could scroll back. Miss Mandy, I love you. I love how I could literally scroll back to not that far away of you saying I'm a prude. And I love you. Yes, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, guys, let's wind it back. I said at the start of this we weren't going to go here. How we get here? We're talking about society. Okay, reset. Hey, wait, I know a good way to reset. Hang on, wait. Let's reset. Y'all behave. Get it out of your system, chat. When I come back, fuck. Poppy. Hey, Melissa, I need you to write me a song if that's okay. Whenever you get a chance. I know you don't do much songwriting. Jokes, lol. Can you write me a song? And the lyrics are: I love you, don't lick me. Please don't pant in my face. I love you, don't lick me. Please give me some space. And it's about Poppy. I love her, but fuck, don't lick me.
Our brother, hipster, land dweller, the land pirate radio host, hangs by the Oregon coast. Lisa, our sister, survivor and warrior. Miss Shorty shows care and concern, broadcasting out of Melbourne. They know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away. 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. Status quo, but sincere in their beliefs, for us to find our love and peace. Adam can't help soothe her unease, with Buster's lack of boundaries. Lisa will have a place where Buster can't find her face. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away. 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. It would be an easier goal to maintain the status quo, but honest in their beliefs, to seek out love and peace. Adam can't help soothe her unease, with Buster's lack of boundaries. Lisa will have a place where Buster can't find her face. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away. 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. The secret for my boy Buster, soon it will be more than just her. Go wild, Buster, be a fucking lunatic, cause you will have twice the faces to lick. No soft lover can stop your affection. It's just a challenge, Buster, not a rejection. Half a world apart, but united in the heart of our uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. Of our uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next.
Oh my God, Tim! I just said. Oh, Adam, you'll if flick Tiff speed, and you'll also be picking your Adam's apple from across the street from me. Tiff, you're so funny. I'm gonna hit your nose. That's so funny. Ah, Kenzie's still here. To be honest, I have past traumas that have changed me as a person. I have addictive tendencies and self-sabotage my path. I'm on a positive path now. Girl, yes. Self-sabotage is a control thing, yeah? If we fuck it up for ourselves, then at least we did it. At least no one else did it, right? Oh, Tiff, you're the best. How good is that song? Yes, amazing. Turd Ferguson in full flight again. And actually, and Adam, video editor extraordinaire. Thank you for that. Adam's in the process of putting together a slightly shorter, probably half as long, refined version of that, just because it is about 4 minutes long. And but yes, oh yikes! I thought we were having a chat reset. I can't with you guys. What have I started here? You're all pervs. You're all pervs. Yes, that song does jam. It's in my head permanently. The version that Turd sent through, that's just Adam and I and not anything to do about Buster. Sorry, Bussy. But it has got some little like melodic vocal stuff in it that's, I think, even more cool. Did someone say self-sabotage? Peer. Yes, yes, yes. So right, so sex work. Okay, so this is obviously an audience that doesn't need to be educated on being open and frank and okay with it all. So yeah, poor Buster. You know, the Buster slander is real, because Buster doesn't lick. It's Poppy. It's Poppy that I say 55 quadrillion times a day. I love you, don't lick me. I love you, don't lick me. Yeah, Nathan, right. The people who left, that's cool. Like, that's cool. I mean, it's not exactly what the stream was advertised as being either. And I hope to still get Daisy back in the future to have the conversation, or if anybody else is keen to come on and have some who has feelings about society's attitude and the stigma. I'd love to have that discussion, but I guess just talking about this here and now is starting that conversation regardless. So let me go back to like I'm sure you felt my rage and my fury, and when I was saying that my parents and my entire every person, I'm not joking, every person from my life, from my real world, from my legitimate life, freaked the fuck out. They were highly uncomfortable with the knowledge that the Lisa they had known all their life was engaging in sex for money, and oh, the shame, way too uncomfortable for people. And it doesn't need to be. It shouldn't be. Let me go for another example. I used to be a moderator and for Roberta Glass, True Crime Report. Those of you who are free Karen readers, I'd go so far as to say, okay, so chat. I don't. Anyway, you may or may not have heard about Roberta Glass and her stance on Karen Reid, which is ludicrous, uninformed by choice, a cherry-picked, contrary, agenda-driven stance. She's had Grant Smith Ellis on her channel many times, I hear. Yeah, thanks, Cara, Gen X. It broke my heart. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they judge me? They knew me. They all knew me, right? I'll go back to Roberta Glass in a second. They all knew me to be someone who'd tried her best, who'd lived a legitimate, traditional, mainstream life, who'd lost her husband, who at a very young age, who'd done really well for herself, all things considered, who was an inspiration, a fucking delight, if you will. For every single one of those people to feel either so uncomfortable with my reality or to judge or make assumptions about what they believe to know about that reality. Yeah, Tiff, this is good. This is good. Stay that way. She's actually got some really good Adelson content. That's how, anyway, we'll get back to Roberta in a minute. Remind me, because yikes. Imagine how hurtful it was. And so this is a theme in my life, yeah. I'm just doing me, right? I'm just doing the best. I'm just doing my best to get along. I'm being me. I'm making my decisions in life as we do, trying to be an independent person, making the best choices I can under the circumstances with the options I have available. So to have all those people knowing me, including my own family, to allow themselves to be swayed by either my son's father and his chirping in their ears or their preconceived misconceptions about what it means to be a sex worker and what the implications are. Fuck that. How dare they? Like, how dare they? To ostracize me completely. Completely. I have never heard from a single member of my family, and I don't have many cousins and I don't have many aunties and uncles, but I have enough. My grandparents are all passed. Nobody ever again, ever. They turned their back on me and have never looked back. I'm sure some of them are lurking. Hi, I reckon my auntie Meryl and Caswell is probably watching this. She has me on Instagram. Shout out. How's it going? Thanks for judging. Thanks for being too scared. Imagine deciding that a choice someone makes is either too uncomfortable, too confronting, or too disgusting to ever deal with that person ever again. Wow. So here we are. They will never figure it out. But if they do, like, who was it? I think it was Nick. Nick's not around anymore. But Nick said to me, like, maybe one day, maybe you should tell your parents how you feel. Maybe you should tell your parents all this stuff. I'm like, fuck, why would I? They'll never hear me. They made up their mind about me a long time ago. Pat Sanford, I don't know. What are they afraid of? I think it's like talking about any of these subjects I talk about, yeah? People don't want to look into the darkness, into the dark corners and the shadowy shit of society, of themselves. People don't want to talk about or think about homelessness because it's terrifying. People don't want to talk about addiction. They don't want to think about it because we are so close to being drawn into anything. And I mean, maybe not sex work, but it's because society has deemed that sex work is something to be looked down on. It's a misogynistic attitude. Sorry, it is. And it's not okay. I think people are afraid to look into themselves, aren't they? Isn't it mostly like maybe probably not you guys? You are, again, you guys are chat. You're a skewed sample here. Thank you, Adam. Here, I don't ever want to speak to my parents ever again. This I'm going to just say it, and you know what, Meryl, or any of my family, if you ever find me, and I'm sure it's on my Facebook. They can see, they can find me. I'm sure they do. Again, shout out. I have no desire to ever speak to my family again. Here we go. When I was about to be homeless, I knew I was for the first time. I've still got the message. I sent my father a message that said, 11th of September 2019. I was beside myself. Dad, I need your help, please. He said, who is this? I'm an only child. It's Lisa, Dad. He blocked me for 24 hours almost. And then, because didn't deliver. Then he replied, hello, Lisa. I can talk with you now if that suits you, Dad. And I replied, I'm sorry, I should never have contacted you. I hope you have been well. We may meet again one day in another life, perhaps. Me reeling, winding it back, going, yikes, you idiot. Why would you have exposed yourself to that kind of toxicity and disappointment? He said, sorry to hear that you've changed your mind, but that's okay. Imagine after them turning their back on me but at that point it was about 3 years. Hard line. They'd already been unraveling themselves from me, but they boom. And so I reach out. I need your help, please. Say, sorry to hear that. You've changed your mind, but that's okay. I'm well, if getting older and slower, and ever worried about what seems to be happening in your life. Not that worried, Dad. Dealing by text doesn't work very well for me, so please call in the future if you think it will help you. Loved, Dad. I never want to see my parents again. However, I do. Hey, how you going? Good to see you, sir. Your dad? No, it's not me. They can suck my dick, mate. But I do think sometimes now my parents are getting on, and they've written me out of their wills. My dad is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. My children, thankfully, will be set for life when my parents pass away. And because I likely will never be able to provide them for them in any way, I will leave them no financial legacy. Just this YouTube channel. Love you, kids. Mwah. I do love you. I love you, Kobe and Sammy, very, very much. I miss you very, very much. But like every day. But I do sometimes hope that my parents will just go, you know what? Out of the millions, what about if we just flicker a cool 50 grand? Small pocket change, yeah? That would change my fucking life, mate. They won't though, fuckheads. Whatever, that's their choice. It's their money to do with as they wish. I can't change that. I'm not angry about it, but I do sometimes think, when I get a letter in the mail, I'm like, this looks important. Like I got a thing from child support the other day. Fucking child support, mate. I don't begrudge paying child support for my children, my son. I do begrudge that my son's father lives in the house that I paid the deposit for, my nest egg, and have since, and it's worth $1 million now, that house. Still lives there with his new missus and her 2 children. He took my son, he took my future, he took my sanity, he took my entire family and my entire world away with his manipulative ways, narcissistic manipulation. Burn it down. He just wanted to burn me down, and it worked. But sometimes I get a letter. I'm like, I wonder if this is like something from a lawyer with a will thing saying, oh, by the way, Shorty, here's a cruel 50 grand. Okay, thanks, bye. I'll go and blow it on Botox and lips and boobs. I'm joking. Yikes, what is this? Singularity. What about the woman pretending to be dogs barking and sexualizing a furry attitude while still despising sex workers? If you can't answer it, then I guess you haven't seen what I have. Well, I can't answer that. Are you talking about butt plugs with tails? I got 4 of them. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. I think someone who despises sex workers, if what I'm reading there, they actually are despising what they see in themselves, like homophobes who are violently homophobic, but who are probably actually hating on themselves because perhaps they have tendencies towards that in their own sexuality. People are terrified of what's inside of them And quite often they lash out by hating on those in society that reflect what they see and know about themselves deep inside. Yeah. Is that a good answer? Because I think it's probably the right answer. Well, you can make that choice. I still have to set boundaries, but to be fair, my mother has done a lot of work too. I mean, it's really important for people to be always self-aware enough to know that there's still work to be done. And that's admirable. I live a mile away from my parents, and my mom cannot respect my boundaries no matter how many times I remind her. Yeah, people are wild, huh? That sucks. Zero judgment. Good. This is a zero judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. Sniff, sniff, sorry. I didn't miss the other comment. I missed the other comment. Sorry, Steph. Oh my God, money, a whole nother story. Yikes, right. Thank goodness your kids will be taken care of financially at least. Yes, Tiff. And you know what? Like, I have a bit of a quandary because my son, Kobe, was just starting school when my son's father decided to, here we go. My son's father decided to pull the plug completely on me. I was in the beginning stages of my next and last ever highly abusive, dangerous relationship with George. He was systematically dismantling me with coercive control and all of those things. We've done a whole episode on that. My son's father, we had always had a 50-50 shared care arrangement, Monday to Monday, Monday to Monday. Nothing court ordered, all me. What woman? There aren't many women these days who give their child's father equal parenting, yeah? I paid for everything, so it wasn't necessarily equal. I paid for everything because I had the income. Happily. Our son was thriving, happy, healthy, hitting all his milestones. He wasn't living, you know. Let's see. Thanks, yes. Honestly, I'm not going to fight it, Michelle, but thank you. I don't have the spoons. Callback. So I descended into that all the time methiness, all the time drug use. However, it wasn't like my son was living in a trap house. I wouldn't smoke any meth when he was awake, when I had him at my house. I'm not making excuses, but it certainly wasn't like he was sitting in a crack den. Yeah, he'd go to bed and I'd go into the bathroom with the doors closed and the fan on and smoke meth. Not ideal, but not as bad as it could have been. So I had moved all the way to Melbourne I was trying to restructure my life. So I had a house in Melbourne and a house in Adelaide. When I was in Adelaide, I was going to be purely child, Kobe, because my daughter Sammy wasn't talking to me then. And when I was in Melbourne, I was going to have all my cats. Yeah, I had 7 adult cats and kittens and a little dog as well. And so I was going to have all my work, as in my sex work, and all of my pets. So, and then when I was home in Adelaide, but then I left the brothel and wasn't doing any sex work and suddenly had no income. And George, the full proper psychopath. I'll star that. Jen's missing tooth. Okay. Anyway, but I like facts are facts. Like, so anyway, so I was trying to structure it, but I couldn't do it. So I was still I was planning to go back to Adelaide. It was in about March of 2017. So I hadn't seen my son for about 4 or 5 weeks, but the plan was I wasn't leaving him. I just had to sort shit out a bit. You can keep your opinions to yourself or you can share them, so long as you share them respectfully, babe. Like, this is a safe space. No judgment, as long as you're not going to cast any judgment or aspersions, because that's not cool. But if you want to share your opinions, this is the right place to do it, right? Yeah, fuck the narcs, Jess. Right, sister. So I was calling my son's father to organize I had flights booked to go to Adelaide to go back and see him, and I had a like an Airbnb or whatever to go and stay for the weekend to get it all organized. And I called my son's father. He said, "You're not going to see Kobe." I said, "And why is that?" He said, "Because you're an ice addict." And what could I say? It was the truth. So I shut down. I was in the throes of being like literally the beginning of the most nightmarish, well, not the most, but a highly disastrous, dangerous, awful, devastating relationship. So I withdrew, and that was the beginning of the end for the next couple of five years for me. So here's my problem. Roundabout way. Let's get back to the point. My son now is about to finish primary school. He's about to start high school, like year 7, whatever you guys call it, freshman. So he's spent more than half of his life, and I don't know what he knows. I have no contact. There is nobody in my world because everybody turned their back. I don't know. There's no mediator person. There's nothing on mediator. I actually did all of the legal things that one is required to do before you go to family court in Australia. And Aaron, my son's father, refused to participate in any way, wouldn't even respond to the letters. So legally, I actually have, or had, I'd probably have to do it again, the upper hand. But emotionally and mentally, when the dissension into the most abusive relationship I will ever be caught in, I didn't have the spoons, callback, to take that any further. I also didn't have the resources. So anyway, so what do I do? My quandary is now my life is on track, but how do I know if my son's been told whether I don't know if he even has been told I'm alive or dead. Maybe he yearns for me, or one day he might. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's angry with me. Maybe he's been told all sorts of lies about what happened. And on paper, I look like an absolute fuckhead. I look like the worst mother ever because I seemingly just turned away and turned my back on my children. Couldn't be further from it. So I kind of, and I don't have the emotional support, family support, a foot in the door, the fortitude to take on the most spiteful, horrible, malicious, vindictive human. What man? Anyway. So what do I do? In terms of my son, what do I do? Yes. I don't think it's even about don't like sex workers, don't hang out with them. Done. I think, thanks, Nicole. I haven't always been, but here I am. I've had to work through I've had to do I've done a lot of work on all of this. A lot of work, yeah. Thanks, babe. So sex workers. See, the thing is, though, that's kind of like making it but one's in the chat before, yeah. We all could have. Well, who was here then? We all kind of ascertained that most of us either know somebody or are themselves someone who's been involved in the sex work industry. So we're just regular people, yeah. Like we're just people paying the bills. Why should we be the other? Why should sex workers or former sex workers be the shunned and the misunderstood? Because we're just regular people. Having said that, you can't trust these hoes. They tend to be a little unscrupulous, some of them. But I think that's part of the shifting of the moral compass and that pie chart of people who are dysfunctional and traumatized and perhaps a little lost in life who end up in that line of work. I was probably the exception to the rule in that my moral compass never shifted. I never fucked over anybody ever, regardless of how much I was getting fucked over and treated like a piece of shit. So I think what we should do to understand is that sex working is just a job. Like what? Don't like YouTubers? Don't hang out with them. Oh, fair. There's a bit of ego there, right? I'd prefer to hang out with a bunch of sex workers, prostitutes, than I would to hang out with a bunch of egocentric, narcissistic doctors. I grew up with a bunch of them. My father and his friends, they're all fucking tossers. It's going to be a hard pass. I'll take real people any day of the week. And what does it matter? Like, we're not going to. So that's what I'm trying to break down, yeah? Like, why? What? Don't hang out with a traffic controller? Why? Because I stand out on the road and keep people safe? Don't hang out with a sex worker. Why? Because they keep your marriage together so your husband doesn't go and have an affair, I think that's on them. Is that in the chat these days? Is that an emote? I think it is. That's on you, yeah. Like not you, Tiff, but it is. That's on you. That's on them. That's a them problem, not a former or current sex worker problem. It's just not. What did I star before? Hang on. Jen's missing tooth. I paid child support and raised 3 kids single. Yes. So my income is decent, but I had to pay child support even when I was homeless because my son's father was in the army, right? And is now on like a full army pension. So his income is not taxable. So his declared income is about 17,000 per annum. Come on now. That's not his income, but it's what the child support I have to pay is based on. And I do not begrudge paying. It's the least I could do yet. I currently pay about 100 and wait, it's just gone up. Just over $150 a week child support because my son's father gets a tax break and he lives in the $1 million house that I paid my entire nest egg for, cash, nothing in writing. Fuck off. But yeah, just that. Ugh, doctors are the worst. They're such awful humans. I wipe anyone who fucks me over. Yes. You know what? The thing is, well, I don't know about you guys, but yes. It's on them. It absolutely is on them, Tiff. But like, I want for people. Here's another thing with judgmental. Like, anytime I've started talking to a guy, without fail, not even girls, females too sometimes. But I don't really talk to many women except you guys. They'll always go, oh no, like I always say straight up, like you're not going to be wanting to spring up. By the way, I used to be a hoe. And now I've just got skills, so that's you benefit, right? But I get it that could be particularly confronting for people. But the number of people that go, oh, well, no judgment from me, I'm not judging at all. I'm like, man, as soon as you said the word judgment, there's some judgment there because you considered at somewhere on some level of your consciousness that this was something that required perhaps some judgment. I'm getting better about that because get over yourself, Lisa. Obviously, people are going to judge. That's what we're trying to break down here. There is also a psychological... Sorry, I've only had 3.5 hours sleep. There is also a psychological effect in decision-making of a man for dating a sex worker. Absolutely. Can you imagine my realization? And I realized it very, very early on. Once I became a sex worker, in my mind, I was kind of closing the door for any real, actual, meaningful, equal power dynamic relationship ever in the future. And I had to make that decision. Do I pay the bills or do I hope that one day I will meet a man who well, I did. Adam. It's easy to have dim view of CNAs, trash haulers, ditch diggers. You only notice it when they're gone. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I used to be a house cleaner. No one needs to be wiping the shit spray off the underside of someone else's toilet seat. I'll give you that for $25 an hour. Nah. But for both sexes, it is a psychological effect. Absolutely. And why? Because society's conditioned us to think that there is something wrong with people who do that as a job. And we have to get our heads around it. So that's what I want to do here is to sort of dismantle some of that, pass it out, to understand, like, I'm all right. I'm all right. Yes, Adam. Who are you? Yes. And we're just doing a job. And I get it. It's hard to get your head around. It's a very intimate job. I get it. I do get it. I get it. But you know, sex workers are people too, yeah? We need love too. Clean houses. Still, it's honest work, yeah. Hard work. At one point I was doing house cleaning and doing sex work. Oof, just because I'd said yes to some house cleaning jobs. And my daughter's dance teacher, my daughter was she left school at the end of year 10, so before her 2 senior years, and did a certificate 4 in commercial dance because she wanted to open her own dance studio. And actually she then did another year of a personal training degree, and now she and her now husband, when they were 19, they opened up their very own gym from scratch, from like a warehouse startup, and it's still thriving. See how proud I couldn't be more proud. Look at that. I role modeled her hard work, committing yourself to something and doing it and succeeding. But yeah, her dance teacher thought that when I said I cleaned houses, because I had nails and shit, like you can't, like obviously, I mean, surely you can tell now, even now, that I don't look like I used to look, but I look different, yeah. Yes, we're kindred spirits. She thought that when I said I clean houses that it was a euphemism. I'm like, no, I literally am. Cleaning shit spray off people's underside of their toilets. Excuse me. Once you've done and seen some freaky shit, nothing makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, facts. It also makes it hard to go back to the more vanilla-y, mainstreamy life, not just in terms of sex, but lifestyle. And once you've put yourself in the periphery of society as a sex worker, it's very hard. So my thing with getting a job again, I did talk about this before. I didn't think I'd ever get a job in the traditional workforce ever again. And so let's call back to the neurodivergent streams, right? My thing in my life has always been that I never quite fit in. That women generally don't, like, there's something about me that they find, I don't know, threatening, confronting, different, weird, too much, annoying, all the things. So they also often would think, because I'm that sort of a little bit pervy and a little bit flirty, but I'm just being playful. I'm not trying to get your man, yeah? Except Adam. He wasn't anybody's man. He's my man. So even before I'd been a sex worker, I really struggled with maintaining female friendships, and we never got to that in the last neurodivergent stream, but I will next one, okay, because it's important, because I've lived through wondering all these years, what the fuck did I do? And now I kind of know what I do, and I just expect for it. I don't mean to be, it's just me being me. I can be a bit of a fuckwit. But so I didn't ever think I'd be able to go back into the traditional workforce, not least of all because on my resume I had a good 7 years of excuse me, of no employment. So that looks sus. But also the thought of going back into pretty much any workplace, any team unit, and because I already had this feeling of not quite belonging and being treated that way, but then now I also had these giant boobs and these lips and the tattoos, and then I'm an incongruent person. Like I kind of, I'm a curiosity, yeah, because I'm articulate and intelligent and seeming to be quite confident, extroverted. I'm not extroverted. I just talk a lot here. But and also there's like this look that's something a bit dangerous about me. And women, I was always worried that the women in that workplace, that someone would find out and that then I would be ostracized, not just for those things for my entire life, but because of my work choice, previous work choice. And that they would think, the men would decide that I was fair game once they found out. No, I don't want to fuck you. I don't. Just because I did that as a job doesn't mean I'm right for the picking, right? Doesn't mean I'm fair game. Just means that's what I did for a job. And plus, how much have you got? No, I'm joking. And the women would ostracize me because they thought I was trying to steal their man. So one of the reasons why I went into traffic control, one of the reasons I went into traffic control, because I think it attracts a lot of neurodivergent folks, honestly. A high percentage of neurodivergents are in traffic, and they don't necessarily all know it, but I do. But also it attracts a lot of former sex workers, strippers and stuff. I'd heard that, and it pays okay. And so I knew that I would never get ostracized for that in that industry. So that's kind of why I took that career path, peasant work shit. What's a UBI? Sounds like it's a painful thing that could be treated with antibiotics, but I don't think that's it, Alice. In the chat, what's a UBI? Seems from all that did the sex work, they, male or female, have a bad effect towards serious relationships too. Yes. Yes, because there's a lot of trauma. It's a lot of trauma, right? It changes you. It changes you, and it changes how society sees you, and it changes how you believe society will see you, and it changes how basically almost every person you meet sees you. So Adam, my sister, is a truck driver now, and some of the guys found out that what she used to do, and she's had to beat some ass. You're gonna love Sarah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I told one of my very good friends, Darcy, she and her now partner, Shannon, just had a baby. But I used to work with Shannon. He's a concreter, and I used to work with Shannon. And he was and all of his brothers. I was traffic, and they were concreters, and I got along really well with Shannon. Awesome guy. He used to be a hard meth head, hard meth dealer, high volume, kilos and kilos, and it's turned his life around. So we used to talk a lot when I was working, and I told him that I'd been a sex worker. I worked at Gotham. It was before he and Darcy were even together. She worked for Platinum as well. That's the company I work for. And then they got together. And then one day I was working with this atrocious man. What was his name? Tony. 70, misogynistic pig. Know-it-all, domineering, opinionated, awful. Anyway, he just talked at me with his whole shift. It was fucking drag. Gossiping and talking about people. And then at the end of it all, he was making all this sweeping general, and he goes, do you know, there's this one chick who works for Platinum, Lisa, who used to be a sex worker. And I looked at him, I said, Tony, I'm the only Lisa. And he goes, he knew as soon as he said that he fucked up. I thought it was hilarious. So basically, I told Shannon in confidence something because we got along really well. He'd obviously gotten hooked up with Darcy, and they're now like living together with a baby and stuff. I love them. I'm like a godmother. But he told Darcy. Then Darcy and I love Darcy. It was, you shouldn't tell anyone a secret if you don't. There's only once more than one person knows, it's no longer a secret, right? So she told people in Platinum. I'm like, I don't even fucking care. You all can know what I used to do for a job, yeah. And so, like, I don't care. Who's here? I'm doing bedtime stuff with my kids, so I wanted to say you are beautiful. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Love that name, Rachel. And sweet and salty. Have a good night. Catch the replay, gorgeous. Thanks for dropping by. It does change people, and not in a good way. Yeah. Like for me, and again, I had, it was before you came in, singularity, but I lost everything and everyone because of my, like, it's always a Tony, right? Because of my decision. Like I likened it to like the universe put a gun to my head, and I had to make a choice to keep the food on the table and the roof over the head and the bills paid, and I didn't have many options, and I did the best with no family support, no real, like, with a dissolved a baby. I think he was about 18 months old when I started sex work in another town. And so I made the best decision I could at the time. I am who I am now because of everything I've lived through and worked through and worked on about myself since then. But fuck me, it's been a rough ride. Feeding the grandy. Thanks, Michelle. It's all good. You can listen and lurk. It's all good. Excellent. Well, I mean, you don't go into it because you're well adjusted and doing well, really. Yes. I think people who go into sex work, a bit of a circling back around here, I feel like often people will be in denial, not just about this, in life. People don't want to think about the hard things. That's why people work really hard, stay doing busy work. They stay overly productive. They fill up their life with social engagements and working overtime and watching television and scrolling on their phone. Yeah, all of the things. But basically, they're in denial about what people don't want to think about. People don't want to do the shadow work because it's fucking rough. It's rough looking into the darkest corners of your soul, of yourself, of your psyche, and admitting to yourself that there are things about you that need work, and then doing the work. Taryn, I will have to get my kids to bed, but I wanted to say thank you for opening up and sharing your story with us. Oh, my pleasure, Taryn. Always. Well, you are strong and beautiful. Thank you so much. Mwah, Taryn, love you. Yeah. I mean, it's a rough thing. It's a rough job. It's a dangerous job. It's excuse me, I'm just gonna mute myself for 1 second so I can clear my throat. Um what is it? What was I saying? Yeah, like it's tough. It's tough. You get to see as a sex worker, as a prostitute, escort, whatever, you get to see and experience the most base, despicable aspects of people. Even the nicest clients, your favorite clients, are still fucking paying for your soul, yeah? They're paying someone to have a piece of you. You are a temporary option. You are a distraction. You are a transaction. You are not a priority. You are goods and chattel. You are something to be bargained over. They fuck you over. They try to rip you for money. They do rip you for money. They try to pay for one thing and take more and more. Excuse me. Goodness, sorry, too many vapes. Yeah, it's like it destroys you. You see the worst in people. The girls, most of the girls, sadly, allow themselves to change the way they treat other people as a direct result of how they're being treated themselves. So they stoop, yeah, they stoop to those levels because they fight fire with fire. Their moral compass shifts because they start to do more and more sketchy shit, and more sketchy shit is being done to them. And so then things they start to be okay with doing things that are they maybe might not have in the past, and also because again in those pie charts, those three slivers of society, the dark and seedy underworld, the sex worker girls, and the guys who visit sex type establishments, strippers and stuff, that cross section is a very dark fucking thing. So you're exposing yourself to a trilogy of depravity and dysfunctionality and people who are damaged, who haven't done the work. Chattel, yeah. Shadow work. It's doing the inner work. It's spending the time working on yourself, facing, spending the time with yourself, with your thoughts, with your demons, turning, instead of running from them and hiding from them, stopping and turning around and spending the time with them and coming to accept and work through the things about yourself and others that are not healthy, that are practices and patterns in your life that aren't helpful moving forward. Yeah. Adam says it's kind of like doing some really deep self work, going to the areas of life that we don't let other people see. I don't even think it's that we don't let other people see, it's that we choose not to see about ourselves, Adam. I think it's even further than that. It's basically like it's stopping with the self-medicating, with the distractions. I, for my 4 or 5 years of shadow work, listened to no music, no television, read no books, watched no television, no audiobooks, no radio, no movies, no music ever, nothing. I just forced myself to be in my thoughts for almost 5 years. And I gave myself as long as I needed. I knew I would know when I was ready to allow myself some grace. Yes, hurt people, but also sometimes hurt people become really strong empaths and break that cycle. Long dark nights in your head trying to be better. Yes. Coming to terms with all the things that are awful that we don't want to think about, that we fill up our heads and our lives and our environments with to distract from the core of ourselves. It's looking into your shadows and doing the work. Do the fucking work. I have a little 2-minute video in my video section here about called shadow work. Do the work. Grandy wants a smoothie. Can't hear over the ninja. Sorry, Michelle. Yikes. Radial acceptance? Maybe. That too, the stuff we would rather suppress, ignore, or willingly let it control us. I sold everything and moved into a shitty van to focus on it. Yeah. I still don't listen to music, Ernie. I still don't. It's been almost 10 years since I listened to music. No, that's a lie. Sorry about the throat clearing. It's grinding my gears as much as I'm sure it's grinding yours. Music. I still don't. So I didn't want the distraction. I knew I needed to be in my thoughts and let myself think and feel all the things I needed to think and feel, and stop with the escapism. When I went back to allowing some external stuff like input, not just in my head, I went back with audiobooks. I started with audiobooks and then podcasts and then YouTube. And I've had a couple of weeks in the last, it is probably 5 years. No, because if the shadow work, the hardcore shadow work probably went for, I was probably exaggerating. We probably went for 3 years. And then I came out of it and started in 2021. So 3 years. Yes. Anyway, time. So I still don't feel ready, comfortable, but I've had a couple of weeks, probably let's say 5 weeks in total where I've listened to music since then. But for the most part, I think I'm still kind of punishing myself a little bit and don't allow myself. Yeah, I do only listen to Melissa Asylum bangers, right? Yeah, I don't feel like I'm yet deserving of the escapism of music. I'm a bit scared to be caught up in that because it's not reality. All I want is hard facts, information, and learning. If I had 2 brains and 2 sets of ears, I would absolutely spend some time listening to music, but there isn't enough time. Yes! I like Turtle Boy slurping. Sorry. It's because I haven't slept and because I've been talking for all this time straight. Hope the best for you. Thank you. The Moose Flute song. I don't think I've got it. We could. Uplifting. Nah, I like to be just down in the dirge. Do I have it? I haven't got it. How do I do it? Sure. Send it to me. Oh, I know how to do it. Hey, wait. Hang on now. Let me find it. Talk amongst yourselves. Shit. So, such a fucking space cadet. I'm so tired. I am so tired. I got to go to work tonight as well. There it is. Turd Ferguson. Come here, you. Lord, how do I find this? Jesus, my brain isn't working. There it is. Okay. No, pause. Ask and you shall receive. Chat. Babe. Stephanie. Sorry, I'm in slow-mo. Oh, wait, volume also. Oh, no, it's full now. Okay.
When the moose flute calls, put down the alcohol and stop your whoring for 1 minute. Listen to the flute, goddammit. The moose flute, David Lindsay is a witchcraftsman. Magic objects made by his hand. Striped ebony and moose antler. Make a bong and booze decanter. The moose flute calls to a whore. It summons anti-deb and more. And it has the larger feel right holes. But what the fuck are those? The moose flute. When the moose flute calls, put down the alcohol and stop your whoring for 1 minute. Listen to the flute, god damn it. When the moose flute calls, put down the alcohol and stop your whoring for 1 minute. Listen to the flute, god damn it. David Lindsay is a witchcraftsman. Magic objects made by his hand. Striped ebony and moose antler. Make a bong and booze decanter. The moose flute calls to a whore. It summons anti-deb and more. And it has the larger feel right holes. What in the flute finger flappery are those? The moose flute. Flute calls, put down the alcohol and stop your whoring for 1 minute. Listen to the flute, god damn it, the moose flute.
Looking for music that speaks from the heart? Meet Melissa Asylum on YouTube, where every song is a message of love, humor, and justice. She's crafting melodies to show creators how much they're appreciated, tunes to tell friends and family they're loved, and anthems to rally the world to help those who need it most. Join Melissa Asylum and let her songs inspire, uplift, and bring people together. Subscribe now and feel the love.
Oh my God, it worked. We summoned the whore. Hey, Deb, how you going? Good to see you. No way. We are blessed. It worked. Adam said it worked. We played the moose flute and she came. Your whore aunt. She's out there doing her whoring ways. She's probably lurking, trying to get dirt on all of us, and it's probably succeeded because I've been spilling some dirt. Yo, and who else is here? Charlie, hey. Hi, Auntie Deb. Hi. And Auntie Deb appears. Ta-da! It works every time. Summoning the whore. I think Singularity 23 went, well, okay, you guys are weird. I'm out. Yes. If you're not unaware, your Auntie Deb is a whore. Your Auntie Deb was also a very amazing person. And so I mean, on brand really, because we've been talking about sex work and I don't mind being called a whore. And I know Deb doesn't mind being called a whore. So if the shoe fits, if the moose flute with the feel right holes works, we're going to wear it. I don't think there's a raid, is there? I don't know. There's no raid. I felt a ringing in my ear. I immediately spat the dick out of my mouth and came. Yikes. All hail the Hoogan. Gratan, says Tiff Knox. Yes. If you're not aware, this is all spit. We got you. You do. Oh, you spit the dick out. I hope you swallow. Oh, Ruthie. Well, hang on, wait. I just exited out of that because I was in a panic and I'm like, get a double play. I'm going to hear both of them. Do we have any other Melissa Asylum Turd Ferguson requests? Because we're here now. Let's go light. Let's lighten shit up, yeah? Enough with me. Worrying about. This is a better baby. This is a baby who had a hard life and is sad and does the shadow work. I can't find it now. Fuck, there it is. All right, let me go back to chat. What do we want? Oh, wait. This one. Silly me. Sorry, throat clearing. Can clear throat. Too much dick in my mouth. Sorry. Just no dick in my mouth there for the longest time. Sadly, Deborah. Share screen. What do we got? Oh, no, wait. I think I've got the wrong one. We'll see. You guys can come with me as I discover that I've got the wrong one pulled up. Is this? Yeah. We're feral children. Is it? because we are. So
We fairy children, lost and wild. Dad punishes us, each and every child. But we are feral children, we thrive on chaos. Dad may try to punish us, he will never tame us. Hell in the cell, hell in the cell. It's Dad's test of outmight. All kids will go in to fight. There is only one survivor. Bring a shiver, a screwdriver. Punishment is kinetic dance. Leotards moving in a trance. It's the feral children's penance, watching camel toes prance. My Auntie Deb is a whore. We are feral children, lost and wild. Dad punishes us, each and every child. But we are feral children, we thrive on chaos. Dad may try to punish us, he will never tame us. My Auntie Deb is a fucking whore. Hell in the cell, hell in the cell. Test of outmight. All kids will go in to fight. There is only one survivor. Bring a shiver, a screwdriver. Punishment is kinetic dance. Leotards moving in a trance. It's the feral children's penance, watching camel toes prance. Mommy fucking Deb is a goddamn whore. We are feral children, we thrive on chaos. Dad may try to punish us, he will never tame us.
oh, what else? Anyone?
Of
Oh
Out of
no!
the Cave,
Oh
this
my
village
God!
father,
How did this happen?
was very troubling to watch
Oh, that's just JFK.
because we know
Stop screen. What- I think- oh my God! Now it's still going. It's playing in my ear holes. Shh, shh, shh. Turd made a song about Ernie. Is it on your channel, Turd? Uncle Frank on YouTube. Yes, go and give Uncle Frank a subscribe. Your Uncle Frank is not a whore, nor is your Uncle Frank a juggalo. As far as I know, perhaps we need to get some admittances here. Hey, yeah, I know. We had enough fucking Plevin yesterday, right? Plevin, hard pass on Plevin, Black Metal Barbie. Okay, is it on your channel? Poppy, I love you. Don't lick me. Yes, I love it. Wait, Poppy, overwhelm. Please now. That was a big yawn. That was a super big yawn. Are you the crazy dog? You a lunatic. She says, "Love me all the time." Wait, okay. I think I'm picking up what y'all are putting down. I'm not really insightful. So wait, what do I do? Every time I'm not a professional. I can't really. This whole YouTube thing is like real confusing and shit. This is my first stream. What am I looking for? Help a sister out, literally. Oh, wait. Oh, hang on now. Wait, I know. Obviously, stupid bloody question. Wait. No! Hold up. Back it up like a dump truck. Obviously, we can't do turd without doing this. If we want it, Stephanie bloody bladder.
Lift your hands, worship him, exalt him. You are God Almighty, worthy is the dog, worthy is the dog. You are the Hoogan. Hallelujah, hallelujah. For the Lord God Hoogan reigns. Hallelujah, hallelujah, for the Lord God Hoogan reigns. Hoogan, you are God Almighty, worthy is the dog, worthy is the dog. You are the Hooligan. You are Lord God Almighty. Worthy is the dog. Worthy is the dog. Amen. We exalt you, Hooligan. Hooligan, Hooligan. You are Lord God Almighty. Worthy is the dog. Worthy is the dog. You are the Hooligan. You are Lord God Almighty. Worthy is the dog. Worthy is the dog. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. For the Lord God Almighty reigns. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. For the Lord God Almighty reigns. We exalt you. Yes. All the Pharaoh children sing. Glory, glory, he reigns. All the Pharaoh children sing. Glory, glory, he reigns. You are Lord God Almighty. Worthy is the dog. Worthy is the dog. You are the Hooligan. You are Lord God Almighty. Worthy is the dog. Worthy is the dog. Amen. We exalt you. Yes. We exalt you. Yes. We exalt you. Yes.
Oh my God. Maybe I am a Christian. Maybe I am a Christian. Stop it, turd. I actually think that's probably your best ever. Like, I'm not even joking. That is so uplifting. I feel so good now. Yikes. So good. So good. Oh my God. I'm all overcome with like exaltation. Singing exaltation. Yeah, wow. Did Turd stay? No, she came and left. She just came in her presence and insisted that we mate, worthy is the dog. That was so good. Like, I feel so good now. Did someone? She's here. Turd Ferguson. Sunday evening service. Yes. Okay, wait. Okay, we're doing bangers. It's Sunday night bang. Well, that's probably makes sense, doesn't it? We just talked about banging, hanging and banging, sex working, and now we're going to do the turd bangers. Wait. Not that one. Lord, nobody needs a fucking copyright strike, Fergo. Wait. I'm not. Oh, do I even know what I'm doing? Questionable. Poppy, no, don't lick me. Ah! Shiza. Sorry, team. Wait. Is it started? Having my earbuds in. Oh, sorry. I'm a professional. I'm getting to the end of my like, I can't mask much longer. Yeah, I can't be serious anymore. I'm fucking done. This is let all my autistic hang out. And sniff if you're lucky, right? You'll be lucky, I promise. Sniffing for the win. Lisa, stop sniffing. Fuck off, Mom. Sniff my ass. Okay, play. With you? Yeah.
I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting every time you're near. Every time I see you smile, hear your hello, saying you can only stay a while. And I know that it's hard for you to say the things that we both know are true. But tell me how come I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting every time I hear how you never want to live a life. Oh, how it's gone too far, and you don't have to tell me why. Oh, why you're gone and why the game is through. If this is what's real, if this is what's true, tell me how come I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you made that so clear. I keep forgetting, baby. you're not mine anymore. Anyway, anytime. Just tell me how come. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you make that so clear. I keep forgetting, baby, every time you're near. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I keep forgetting how you make that so clear. I keep forgetting.
Wait.
Every time I hear how you never want to live a lie, how it's gone too far, and you don't have to tell me why. Whoa, why you're gone and why the game is through. If this is what's real, if this is what's true, tell me how come I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. Baby, I know you never want to live a lie. Oh, baby, now you're gone and why you can't hear.
Boom. Well, yes. Hey, that's pretty cool. I think we'll call it. I gotta go to work in a couple of hours. Fuck my cunt life. This peasant work shit. So thanks, guys. Chat, shorties. Thanks, Turd, for the bangers. Thanks, Adam, for the videos. Not on those ones, but on my ones, on my Turd songs. We'll play your one next time, Ernie. Sniff. So on Thursday. Oh no, wait. Wait. What am I saying here? Words. Look at my stream schedule because I'm so delirious I don't even know. So scattered. I'm so scattered. Okay, so on which day is it? What day is it now? Your Sunday. So on your Tuesday night at 8, I'm doing a Madeline Soto stream. I'm funny. It's funny. I'm going to review. So Gizella, obviously got all of the scoop on all of the stuff, and I want to break down we're going to break down the Natalie and Angelica, the police interviews with the two roommates from the Soto household. So we're going to do that. And then I've got a whole lot of stuff. It's like Camp Shorty's on like summer camp or something, but it's not summer. Thank you so much to my amazing moderators, Adam Drives Helen, also my amazing man, Ernie Birdie, Miss Jess MNB, Amy in Boston was here for a little while. Who else? We got to always forget people because I'm a fucking nightmare. Oh, Amber was here for a little while. Jess, yes, that's you guys. That's everyone. Thanks, chat. I'm sorry that it didn't turn out to be exactly what was scheduled, but it is what it is. I think we still had good conversation, yeah. It is so heartbreaking. Steph, it's so fun. I love that you happened upon us. I think thank you to Jay, guilty of crime. And we haven't been able to kick you out. You're not even going to sneak out, I don't think. I think you're going to be staying. You're in the family. You're in the cult. Thank you, Janine. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, all my lovely, beautiful friends, my shorties. I love you all. Thank you to the lurkers. Replay crew, thank you. I don't know, it was a wild ride. We went on it. I had to wing it because Daisy Live Love must have had something, and I can't speak for Daisy because it's not my place. But I feel like maybe this conversation was a little bit too confronting or came a little too quickly for her readiness, and that's okay. We'll do it another time or not. We're good. We had a good chat. We've been streaming for fucking 2.5 hours more. So yes, love you all. Hit the like if you haven't already. I'll see you in a couple of nights. I'll see you in a couple of nights after that. We'll have a members only stream soon. I'll post some pictures of me looking all like hot ho in members only. And I love your faces, I reckon. I love your faces. I also love Adam's face and just Adam. So I think it's only fitting that we go out with this. This. Mwah. Love you. Bossy. Poppy.
There's my
Hey,
guy.
Melissa, I need you to write me a song if that's okay. Whenever you get a chance. I know you don't do much songwriting. Jokes, lol. Can you write me a song? And the lyrics are, I love you, don't lick me. Please don't pant in my face. I love you, don't lick me. Please give me some space. And it's about Poppy. I love her, but fuck, don't lick me.
I am a brother, hipster, land dweller, the land pirate radio host, hangs by the Oregon coast. Lisa, our sister, survivor and warrior. Miss Shorty shows care and concern, broadcasting out of Melbourne. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away, 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. It would be an easier goal to maintain the status quo, but sincere in their beliefs, for us to find our love and peace. Adam can't help soothe her unease with Buster's lack of boundaries. Lisa will have a place where Buster can't find her face. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away, 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. It would be an easier goal to maintain the status quo, but honest in their beliefs, to seek out love and peace. Adam can't help soothe her unease with Buster's lack of boundaries. Lisa will have a place where Buster can't find her face. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away, 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. The secret for my boy Buster, soon it will be more than just her. Go wild, Buster, be a fucking lunatic, cause you will have twice the faces to lick. No soft lover can stop your affection. It's just a challenge, Buster, not a rejection.